Foxborough woke up with that something's about to pop feeling, and yeah, today has that vibe. A record showed up way earlier than it ever should, and it's tied to one small detail that can absolutely get you beat next Sunday. You've got a defense ripping the ball out like it's routine, basically rewriting the game as it's happening. You've got a rookie up front who said the quiet part out loud after the final whistle. And you've got a coach on this staff suddenly drawing attention from other buildings at the exact moment you'd prefer everyone just stay locked in. Sit with that for a second. Which one of those clues actually makes you nervous? If you're riding with Patriots Nation, go ahead and hit like, and let's talk about how much got packed into one win, because it's a lot. Some wins look neat on the scoreboard, but when you really think about them, they carry weight. Sunday was that kind of win. You see 28-16, you celebrate the ticket getting punched, and then it hits you. Drake Maye just stepped into territory that usually doesn't have a chair reserved for a second-year quarterback. 16 wins on the season, playoffs included. That's not normal. That's the kind of pace you put next to legends. And whether the rest of the league wants to admit it or not, the second-year leap Maye just put on tape is going to be studied for a long time. And here's the part that should keep all of us grounded, because it's easy to get carried away. He did all of that, even on what might have been one of the roughest afternoons of his young career. Houston's defense walked into Gillette Stadium with a plan that was basically designed to make every snap uncomfortable. Constant pressure, 3 strip sacks, and the ball always one bad angle away from bouncing free. It felt like every mistake was one hop from turning into a full-blown nightmare. And Maye still found a way. He took shots, he got rattled, he danced with the kind of chaos that flips playoff games. And then he pulled the team back into control and won anyway. That matters, because that's not just arm talent, that's makeup. I'm not going to pretend the problem isn't real, though. The fumbles are turning into the one thing rivals cling to when they want to downplay what Maye is doing. And next Sunday in Mile High, against a defense that lives on pressure and turnovers, that issue becomes a spotlight, not a footnote. Maye has already shown he can answer when the game gets messy. The next step is keeping it from getting messy in the first place. So let me put it to you like this. Do you trust Maye's ceiling more? Or do you trust his ability to keep the football secure when the pocket caves in and the scramble starts? Because what's coming is going to test that balance, snap after snap. While everyone was going back and forth on MVP chatter and ball security, something else was happening alongside it that basically decided the game without asking anybody's permission. The Patriots defense came out like it had a personal agenda. This wasn't just play well. This was suffocate. Early on, you could see it in C.J. Stroud. His feet, his timing, the rushed reads, the forced throws. A defense that plenty of people tagged as good, not elite, made it clear it wanted to own January. 5 turnovers. 5. In a playoff game, that's about as close to a death sentence as it gets. And it wasn't some random bolt from the sky. It was steady waves. Pressure up the middle, blitzes that hit right on schedule, man coverage that made Stroud hold it a fraction too long, and then panic. By halftime, 4 interceptions were already sitting there on the stat sheet. Gillette felt it, Houston felt it. Their sideline confidence just kind of drained out. And it wasn't one guy doing everything either. Marcus Jones took a moment that could have stayed frustrating and turned it into pure redemption with a 25-yard pick six that changed the whole temperature in the building. Craig Woodson played like he belonged in that moment. First career interception, a fumble recovery, passes defended, flying around with real conviction. Carlton Davis picked Stroud off twice and could have had another. Sure, he drew flags, but that's the trade when you play aggressive and you're not backing down. Christian Gonzalez got targeted a ton. 16 targets, 7 catches allowed, just 57 yards, and still made his presence felt with a forced fumble, 9 tackles, and a late breakup when it mattered. Up front, K'Lavon Chaisson just kept appearing in the frame. Sack, pressure, disruption, over and over. 1 year, $5 million deal, and he's been a gift for this defense. That's Patriots football. That's value, development, and timing lining up at the right moment. And you can't talk about this defensive surge without giving credit to how Zach Kerr coached it. He saved his best stuff for January. Less predictable zone, more trust in man coverage, blitzing Stroud at the right times, squeezing him into tight windows. The run defense showed up too. Woody Marks got held to 17 yards on 14 carries after he just gashed Pittsburgh the week before. And the red zone? Houston went 0 for 3. Those are the details that win playoff games, especially when your offense is playing it conservative. Because offensively, let's be real, they did just enough again. Josh McDaniels came out cautious. Screens, runs, training wheels. And I understand why. Houston's front is nasty. But the fumbles showed up anyway. And suddenly it's that kind of afternoon where you're holding your breath on every dropback and every scramble. Toss in snow and rain, and the ball starts feeling like it's got no grip at all. Still, inside all that mess, you saw the ceiling flash again. Maye hit Pop Douglas for a touchdown on 4th down. Big moment, big adjustment. And it reminded you what this can look like when it's clean. Then Kayshon Boutte landed the dagger, a 32-yard touchdown over Derek Stingley Jr., his former LSU teammate, in the biggest game of his life. That's not just a catch, that's a statement. And don't gloss over Stephon Diggs either. He caught a strike from Maye, took a huge hit, and held on for a beautiful touchdown that made it 21-10 before halftime. Late in the game, Ramondre Stevenson helped bleed the clock, and Diggs came up with a massive 3rd down catch to keep the drive alive. That's how you survive a playoff game that refuses to be pretty. But the moment that probably made every Patriots fan go quiet for a beat? The offensive line. Not because they weren't fighting, because they got punched in the mouth at the worst possible time. Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter played like every snap was personal. 5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, 2 recovered by Maye himself, just to keep the season from wobbling. You can't brush that off, even with a win. And I'll say this, I respected what came next. Rookie left tackle Will Campbell, 4th overall pick, could have hit you with the usual canned lines. He didn't. He owned it. He talked about how razor-thin the margin is against elite players, and said he's got things to clean up. He straight up said, I need to play better. That's not weakness. That's growth happening in public. Also, the weather didn't help anybody. Both sides were sloppy. Stroud threw 4 interceptions. Maye had his own pick on a Hail Mary before halftime. It wasn't pretty, no. But the playoffs aren't a beauty contest. They're survival. And even while getting hammered, Maye threw 3 touchdown passes to 3 different guys and led a 4th quarter drive that burned 5 minutes off the clock. That's composure, and it's not nothing. Now the challenge only gets tougher. Denver's defense is another pass rush nightmare, and that's why this matters right now. The Patriots aren't ducking the issue. They're staring it down. No excuses, no bad luck, just internal accountability. If that line takes even a small step forward next week, everything else rises with it. Timing, 3rd and long answers, red zone rhythm, and most importantly, keeping the football. And while we're all trying to process the whole mix, win, relief, nerves, confidence, there's one more wrinkle that matters beyond Sunday. Other teams are starting to look at the brains in this building. That's what happens when you go from 3-14 to 16-3 and you're 1 win from the Super Bowl. People start trying to take pieces. Thomas Brown. Keep that name in your head. He isn't the loudest headline, but what he helped build this season is a huge part of the turnaround. The Patriots' passing attack finished near the top across the board. 4th in passing yards, 5th in passing touchdowns, 1st in net yards per pass attempt. And beyond the stats, it had identity, rhythm, chemistry. Drake Maye leading the league in completion percentage doesn't just happen. Now the interest is right there in the open. The Arizona Cardinals have asked to interview Brown for their head coaching vacancy. And on Sunday, NFL insider Ian Rappaport said Brown is expected to interview for the Chargers' offensive coordinator job after they moved on from Greg Roman. From their perspective, it tracks. They want direction, structure, and someone who knows how to build an offense around a franchise quarterback. From the Patriots side, losing Brown would hurt. It's not just play calling, it's the weekly plan, it's teaching, it's adjusting. Brown's coached under Sean McVay. He's been an offensive coordinator. He's been an interim head coach and an interim OC. He's lived in pressure and chaos, and he fit what Mike Vrabel is building in Foxborough. And the tight end production tells the story. Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper combined for 1,031 yards and 9 touchdowns. That isn't random. That's design, matchups, reads, sequencing, getting the ball out before the rush gets home. In January, that's everything. So yeah, it's this strange blend of pride and alert mode. Pride, because when you're doing it right, other teams want your people. Alert mode, because continuity matters when your quarterback is young and the margins are thin. But it also means something else. The Patriots are a reference point again. They're being watched. They're being studied. Teams don't come hunting coaches on mediocre rosters. They chase the teams winning in January. And when you zoom out, that's the clearest takeaway from Sunday. The Patriots aren't trying to come back anymore. They're here. A young QB breaking records even on a rough day. A defense playing like a championship unit. A line getting tested in the fire and learning fast. A coaching staff sharp enough that the league is already circling names. So I'll throw it to you. Do you believe this defense can carry one more game? Or do you think Drake Maye is about to walk into Mile High and quiet the whole place? Drop your take in the comments, because I want to see Patriots Nation go back and forth on it. And if you're riding with this run, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and stay with us all the way to the finish.